No, I would say so. I switched my tape job a little bit, and yeah.
Do you notice a difference wearing a tinted visor?
It's nice for the lights, I guess, and yeah, I just talked to DP a little bit about it, and he said he's working with a guy who works with like 20 guys, and all of them tried it, so thought I'm just gonna give it a try, and felt nice with the lights for sure.
Will you wear it in a game to see? Or
I don't know. Just gonna try it out, and felt good today, but I don't want to put anything on it. I mean, it's just a little small detail change, and we'll see how we feel next couple days.
what was Brady's reaction?
Uh, he didn't mind it. I don't think. I think you're gonna get chirped either way, probably, but I don't really care. I mean, I do what's best for me, and if I like it, I just keep it. If I don't, I'm gonna switch it again.
How were you feeling leaving the rink Tuesday night in Montreal?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a little upset, but in the end, it's a game. Something like that can happen, and yeah, obviously I was happy about the win, and I think the boys, yeah, came to play after that. We had a tough first period, myself included, so yeah, I was happy about the win, but obviously, yeah, didn't really like it.
Were you surprised at what transpired there with Jacki?
But what do you mean
With the hit?
transpired?
Like with the attempt in that hit?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely dangerous. I think if a play like that happens, it's always on both the players. I got to do a better job to protect myself, and obviously in a game like that, stuff like that can happen, and obviously I didn't like the hit. But in the end, I got lucky. I didn't get seriously hurt. Could have been way worse, and saw him coming last second. So, yeah, obviously I think, yeah, it's on me, included, and I just got to do a better job, I guess, to protect myself there.
In Montreal, they kind of talked about the code and Ridley Gregg's hit earlier in that game. What do you think about that in terms of retribution?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, I mean, Ritz kind of said right after, it was not a great read on him, and he's a physical guy, and stuff like that's going to happen, but I think he hit him on the chest pretty good, so I don't think he hit his head, but in the end it was a late hit, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I think stuff like that can definitely happen in hockey games, and he stood up for himself, fought, and yeah, I guess we'll see.
Is it good that you guys are playing them in a couple days in the preseason again, and then in another week in the regular season? Like, how does that impact anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's like any other game. Obviously, there's a rivalry to every good young team over there as well, and yeah, I mean, especially in preseason, I think the biggest thing is you see so many guys going down right now, and all you're trying to do is get your pace back, and obviously guys trying to play physical and play their game, and you just got to be smart and keep your head up out there, and yeah, obviously, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't really have anything to say against 7 preseason games, so I know there's a lot of talk going on, but I guess we just take it how the league wants us to do it, so just go from there.
Can you tell us about the visor? Did anybody ask you about the visor?
Yeah, I mean, I just talked to some guys, and they said when you like get some to the head, and then for the lights, and it feels better. And I talked to DP; he has one as well. So he's working with a guy who has like 20 guys wearing tinted visors. So I thought I'd just give it a try and see how it feels.
How do you like it so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's one practice. I don't really want to put in too much stuff into it, so I don't really care. It's not a big difference for me, and I just, yeah, I don't really want the media attention on that. So.
Everything's good to go.
Yeah, no, it was just, I guess, a little precaution at preseason. It's at the end of the day, it's all about kind of getting ready for the regular season. So, thought I think it was in everybody's best interest just to sit the rest of the game out and kind of move on and get ready for the season.
Tough couple of games for you, leaving in the
Yeah.
first one and this one.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, it happens, a little flukish stuff, but no, going to be on top of it, and got some time to make sure everything's all dialed in, so it doesn't have to be worried about.
Brady, I noticed the side of your face is a little bruised. Is that related to Tuesday night?
Yeah, no, I don't know how it happened, but I think it might have, I don't know. So, yeah, it looks sweet, so I'll take it, I guess, and yeah, it's always fun when you get a black eye.
How do you find it how do you try to balance playing in the preseason and getting ready for the regular season, and also making sure you guys don't get injuries?
Yeah, well, whenever you think about getting injured, it's usually you're tiptoeing and putting yourself in bad spots. So I think just at first not have that mindset and go out there and just have the mindset of getting your game ready and not thinking about all the extra stuff, little things. Just keep your head up, and that's what we need to do on a day-to-day basis to make plays and get our awareness. So, but I think when that happens, it's all about communication from bench, and I think that's what we've prioritized as a group is talking a lot more from the bench on the ice and keeping ourselves aware of situations on the ice.
What did you think of the hit on Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I think the reaction kind of spoke for itself. Didn't like it, but I felt like it. Yeah, I don't really want to make it a big thing, bigger than it is, but I'm just happy that Timmy's okay. It could have been a lot worse, but we're just going to move on and focus on getting ready and finish out the preseason hard and getting ready to start off on the right foot.
Are you surprised at the tone that game took on though for preseason?
I mean, whenever the rivalry games, doesn't matter if it's preseason, regular season. It's like there's just so much passion and I mean, I feel like the last couple of years it's trended towards those types of games. So I don't really think it kind of came out of nowhere, but I mean, those are always fun games to plan for myself too.
Season opener is a week from tonight here. Are you at the stage in camp where it's let's get through this and get on with it?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's whenever you have something so close, you're looking forward to it, but can't look too far ahead. I mean, there's still 2 games left that we have to really focus in on the little details of a game that maybe need some cleaning up, and I'm glad that all that stuff's addressed, that we can focus on and make a real emphasis to the last 2 games.
So, with the way this preseason has unfolded across the league, a number of kind of notable names that have either gotten injured or some close calls. I mean, what's the sweet spot for today's player in terms of how much runway you would love to have before games of real consequence start?
Yeah, I mean that's a hot topic right now. I know personally, that kind of differs. The more games you play, the more ready you feel for the season, and you get all the kind of the bad out of your game, and you get prepared. But I mean, I know there's just a happy medium in there somewhere. So we'll let the people who make the decisions make those decisions. And but you know what? It's whatever happens. I don't really know if there is going to be a change in the amount of games for a preseason. But I mean, injuries happen. They're always unfortunate. You train so hard in the summer to avoid them, but sometimes it's just some fluke stuff happens. So it's unfortunate, but I don't know what's going to end up happening with the preseason games.
Yesterday I asked Travis Green about you fighting, and he's like, well, I want Brady to be Brady, but he also wants other people sometimes taking that role. When you think about this season, are you going to change at all maybe how many fights you want to participate in?
I don't really put a number on it, but I think I do at times be smarter with decisions on when to and who I'm going to. It's can't just say yes every time. So it's for me, it's something that I continue to work on. I feel like it's been working on it throughout the years, and picking and choosing the right time, right spot. So I don't think that is ever going to get out of my game. I feel like it's too important for me to have that in the arsenal and be able to have that. But let's just say I'm not going to every shift be thinking about it. But if it happens, and it happens, and I enjoy it too. So I definitely not taking it out of my game.
Where does Megamind rank in your favorite character list?
Yeah, I was thinking Halloween's right around the corner, so it could be a potential option, but it's one of the best animated movies.
What's it like looking at Tim and seeing him with the visor now?
You're going to have to ask him if you ask him. He knows my opinions on it, so yeah. Don't worry, he'll look sweet if you ask him. So, but yeah, it's great.
Travis, obviously good to see the 3 guys we talked about yesterday back on the ice today, all clear and good to go.
It is good to see them, yeah. It's great. They're, I don't think we were overly concerned, but anytime you have 3 guys leave a game, it's nice that they're back on the ice today.
Do you expect them to play in any of the games on the weekend?
Most of them.
Most of the guys or most of the games?
Most of the three.
David Perron, is it just the same thing as yesterday?
Yeah.
Do you expect it to be a lengthy?
No, I don't think so. I expect him on the ice. Good chance he'll skate tomorrow, if not the next day.
You're a week away from the season opener here, and clearly still some decisions to be made over the next 2 or 3 days.
There is.
Is that a good problem to have?
I don't really evaluate it if it's a good or bad problem. It's just something that we have to do. You worry about the things you control and things you can't, and good or bad, it doesn't really matter. We've got to make decisions. Some teams don't have any decisions to make when they go to training camp. We do.
How tight are the competitions right now? Let's call it in the bottom 6.
Tight. Yeah, I would say, I think we talked about it the other day in here, there's 4 or 5 guys that are battling for 1 or 2 spots, and they know that. I know that. I don't have to say it. So we'll have to make some hard decisions here.
The tougher competition, the forwards or maybe the third D pairing?
Man, I'd say they're equally hard.
Ultimately, what separates those guys? Is it a fine line?
I'd say
When
very,
it comes to making those decisions.
very fine. I think it depends on the player, what you're looking for as well, as a staff, organization, coach, what you want out of those spots where they're playing, whether it's, speed, toughness, size, penalty killer, power play. There's a lot of factors that go into it, where you're at as an organization. So,
Like how much, you've got 2 games left. I mean, how much of a factor can 2 games be for some of those players?
a factor for sure. There's some guys that, I want to see them play well the last 2 games. That could determine whether you're on the team or not. That's part of hockey. That's part of life. There is always a moment where you have to perform, and for some guys it's now, or for some guys that they're on the team. So.
How much do you maybe weigh the last 2 games? Like, let's say a guy plays really well to begin camp and then maybe has 1 bad game. Like, how much does that come into account? Just 1 or 2 games at the end of training?
Again, we're talking about a lot of different circumstances in here. If a guy is rotten, I mean, it's not doing him any favors. If he's rotten, I might still keep him. It just depends on the scenario. I don't expect anyone to play terrible. These are all good hockey players. They're not going to just go out there and be awful. They're going to play good. They're going to bring their game, and we're going to have to make a decision. It's as simple as that. It's not complicated. We're going to make a decision when we have to. Not going to rush it. Simple.
Given what took place in Montreal on Tuesday night and the fact that you're going to face them again Saturday, would you bring up some guys from Belleville, maybe some muscle, just to,
Just a lot.
well, maybe send some messages?
Well, right now I'm worried about who we're going to play tomorrow. Then I'll worry about who we're going to play against Montreal. We do have 2 games left, and that changes what our lineup could look like really in both games. If it was a 1 game left scenario, much like Montreal has, our lineup would probably look a little different on Saturday than it does on right now. So we're trying to juggle between the 2 teams and the 2 games, and I'm worried about tomorrow. I'm not worried about Montreal right now.
You talked to Adam Gaudette before practice. What is something he needs to do if he would have a shot at cracking this roster?
I did.
Yeah.
Just skated by him.
No, you guys were just chatting on the side.
Were we? I might have been asking how his day off was.
His birthday.
Is it? I should have said that to him, but I can't really remember what I was chatting with him about. So, yeah, I didn't chat with him about anything other than how his day was going. That's funny. I mean, he's one of those guys, and God knows it. Like, the guys that are on the bubble, they know it. Like, actually, that's what it was. I do remember now. I was telling him how the lines were going to work out in practice with 15 players. he asked me a question. I should have wished him happy birthday. But, you know, he's one of those guys that probably knows that, you know, there's who's going to play center on the fourth line. It's not an, you know, is it Ridley, Zach, Gods, Janny?
When you look at that fourth line, like Adam Gaudette was a high scorer in the AHL last year. Is that what you want, though, or do you want something more personality-wise for that fourth line?
I probably won't tell you exactly what I want on that fourth line, but it's one of those two things. And we could have a different look. We could have a guy that's grittier, a guy that can score and create. I think Gods also knows that if he's in that spot, it's not going to necessarily be a scoring line. There's not a lot of fourth lines in the league that you're predicting offense out of, but you want good hockey players, and that you can, as a coach, you feel safe putting them on the ice, and they can play against anyone. And that's not easy to find, where you have fourth lines like that. And you know, really good teams have fourth lines that you can put on the ice, and they can play against a lot of different lines on other teams.
Say, do you get in that final decision, if it's the same, maybe it's the same money and they're two players, do you get to, like, that's the guy I want on my
I think with the relationship Steve and I have built, you know, there's a lot of dialogue daily on where we're at, and it'll be our first time getting to this position, so I can't tell you exactly how that's going to play out, but I know that whatever way we go, we're both going to feel comfortable with it. And there's going to be times where, you know, there might be times where he tells me that he wants someone to play, and there might be times where I want someone to play, and I'm very comfortable that we'll get through those scenarios with the way our relationship is.